There's been a pretty major update to the XL candy system in Pokemon Go. Basically, new ways of obtaining XL candy and, improved amounts of XL candy for already existing ways to get XL candy. So in this video, I'm going to be covering this update for you guys, letting you know the new XL candy system and some current theories and data that have been collected on the rates of the acquisition there. And then I'm also going to be talking about some key Pokemon you might want to look out for. You might want to maybe XL, now that XLing is a bit easier for some species of Pokemon. So to cover the details of the update here, I'm going to be using this nice infographic from the Leak Duck. Really clean and easy for me to point stuff out instead of making my own crummy MS Paint drawing. So one new way of getting Candy XL in Pokemon Go is through trading. Yeah, you can now trade with your friends to get Candy XL. And it appears that the greater the distance is between, the traded Pokemon, the more likely you are to get the Candy XL. So greater distance, the greater the odds. Now, precisely what are the cutoffs for these increased odds? Right now, we don't have any concrete evidence on that. People are collecting data on the Sylph Road Reddit. So in the future, we'll have a more solidified idea of how much distance we need to have in order to get this Candy XL. But right now, just know, greater the distance, greater the odds. So this update's pretty nice, especially for like more local kind of stuff, like crunching down a nest with like a buddy, and then you guys trade it because, you're not getting candy all the time for each of your catches. And when you transfer, you do have the odds of getting the candy there too. And when you trade, you get the odds for the candy. So you can trade with your friends to potentially get more XL candy before you transfer for even more potential XL candies. So I think this will be a nice boon to people trying to clean up, get that little bit extra candy they need to max out their Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Another way we can obtain XL candy in Pokemon Go now is through walking our buddies. So when you walk your buddy and you get that chance for the candy, it now also has a chance to be Candy XL. Now, as far as the rate of acquisition goes, there seems to be a lot of, data out there suggesting that the higher the level the Pokemon is, the more likely you are to get a Candy XL instead of a regular candy. Friends of mine at the Game Press crew are predicting that the Buddy Candy XL acquisition rate, the likelihood of you getting the Candy XL instead of the normal candy, is probably going to follow the Pokemon transfer level rate as far as candy acquisition. You can see here a graphic from the Sylph Road showing you that for, transferring Pokemon. And right now we're thinking that it's likely going to follow that same pattern. Of course, we don't have a big in-depth research data collection of numbers from the Sylph Road. So in the future, hopefully we'll have that from the Sylph Road. But right now, it seems that it's likely going to be based off of the transfer XL candy. So walking the Pokemon to get XL candy is a pretty big update because now we have a little bit more agency, a little bit more control over which Pokemon we can max out. So I really like this update. And in a bit here, I will go over some key Pokemon that you might want to keep your eyes peeled for walking to get that Candy XL, mostly in regards to PvP, with a little PvE thrown in there for your raiders. And then finally, we have this update going over some guaranteed XL candy. Before, there was always that rate, the percent chance, the likelihood, the maybe of you getting some XL candy, but now we got some guaranteed odds. So if you're catching a Pokemon that is a stage 1 evolution, you will for sure get a XL candy, which is pretty nice. And if it's a stage 2 evolution, then you'll get 2 XL candy, which is even nicer. Now it appears that this increased rate doesn't really count for Pokemon that evolve from baby Pokemon. So if you had like a Roselia, which evolves from the baby Pokemon Bidoof, then it won't be getting that +1 candy there. So that is a little bit of a, wish it did. But I guess that is like an exception to the rule there. Or at least that's how it appears right now. Maybe somebody at Niantic just needs to check a box on a spreadsheet and we'll be getting that +1 candy. Then when it comes to legendary and mythic Pokemon, get +3 candy. So, those of you with the Meltan boxes out there, if you don't have a level 50 Melmetal already, well, acquiring a level 50 Melmetal is going to go a lot quicker. And a lot quicker to get, XL candy for raid bosses in the future as well. So definitely a nice added perk to the XL candy system. So now that we have the option of getting XL candy through walking our buddy Pokemon, who should we get stepping with? Well, thankfully, PvPoke put out a nice infographic covering some key Pokemon that you might want to keep your eye out for in PvP based on their walking distance. So link in the description, of course, to this infographic so you guys can ogle it yourselves, and I'll go over some of these Pokemon lightly for you, ones that the Swagman feels that you should keep your eyes peeled for. So starting out with the 1 kilometer group, the main standout option here is going to be Talonflame for the Ultra League. Talonflame is in the top 3 of all Pokemon for Ultra League PvP and has the ability to defeat just about every big player in the Ultra League, which is pretty impressive. So if you didn't get enough Candy XL from the Talonflame Community Day, well, Ultra League is starting after this weekend here. So if you want to get there, you want to get that level 50 Talonflame a little bit quicker, well, walking it could be a good option. If you are curious, like, why is Talonflame so good in the Ultra League? Well, think about how it's already good in the Great League, right? But it does have a lot of pretty big threats in the Great League. For example, there's Bastiodon, completely shuts it down. Lantern, also really good against it. And then there's just a wide variety of bulky water type Pokemon that just harass the Talonflame. But Talonflame's still really good in the Great League. When it comes to the Ultra League, where you do have to take it to that level 50 to get the full value, well, there are very few Pokemon that can really stand up to it. There's no real rock type fast move Pokemon other than maybe Crustle in the Premier Cup Ultra League to harass it like Bastiodon does. And the only real like super consistent Pokemon that's quote unquote meta against it is the Empoleon. So yeah, for a lot of reasons, I think Talonflame's going to be a pretty big player in the Ultra League. Aside from the other options here go, a lot of them feel pretty niche, like they could be good under the right circumstances, but definitely not as solid as Talonflame. Gyarados could be pretty interesting in the Premier Cup Master League if it's unlimited, but I've been out of the game for a bit now, and I haven't really been following the Master League meta, so I wouldn't be the best person to advise you on your Master League options here. However, if you are curious about Gyarados as a raid attacker, a level 40 Kyogre is still slightly better than a level 50 Gyarados is. So a level 50 Gyarados compared to a level 40 Kyogre, Kyogre is kind of beating it out. Now, of course, you do have the ability to have Mega Gyarados, and we don't have Primal Kyogre yet. So obviously Mega Gyarados would be pretty powerful. But when it comes to the current raids that we have in the game and the future expected raids that we have coming up, Mega Gyarados doesn't really compare to Mega Abomasnow, so not exactly the best Mega on the block. But hey, if it's good in Master League, if you're going to excel it to 50 anyways, then why not, man? When it comes to the 3 kilometer group, we do have a bit of solid meta Pokemon mixed with a bit of interesting good spice as well. Of course, getting XL Candy for Medicham and for Azumarill are definite priorities there, so if you don't have that set already, definitely look into doing these two guys. Very good. Of course, though, Great League is leaving us, so focusing on Ultra League Pokemon right now could be a bit better. When it comes to the Ultra League side of the force, 2 Pokemon that stand out to me right away are going to be the Galvantula and the Abomasnow. Abomasnow already being a very powerful, potent meta threat in the Ultra League. Of course, being held back a little bit by that Talonflame coming in soon. But one Pokemon that can compete against the Talonflame here pretty decently, while also keeping pressure on Abomasnow itself, is an XL'd out Galvantula. Galvantula, very powerful in the Great League right now, and does have some interesting spice to show off in the Ultra League as well. So I think these 2 Pokemon may be a bit hotter options to look into right now. An added perk to the Abomasnow as well is it is the more optimal Mega for the current raid rotation and the expected future raid rotation, so focusing on Abomasnow might be a little bit better. And then on top of that, you do get Mega Energy for walking your buddy as well if they have the Mega Evolution, so another perk to the Abomasnow. That perk for the Mega Energy also exists for Gyarados, but you know, Mega Abomasnow a little bit better for the current raid rotation than the Mega Gyarados is. So definitely a solid Angry Tree Pokemon here to start walking. And then finally we have the 5km options, and here mostly meta Pokemon, not so meta plus spice like the last group. And yeah, Sableye, if you got the powerful return Sableye already and you want to pump it up a little bit more, clean it up a little bit with the XL Candy. Bastiodon, super thick, threatening Pokemon in the Great League. Even thicker with the Candy XL. Nothing too spicy happening up here. I wouldn't count out Chansey, by the way. Chansey is a really good time waster and could open up some stall out strategies in the Great League. A few people have been testing it with varying degrees of success. I don't know how much XL Candy has been funding their ventures so far, but I think in the future we might see a little bit more Chansey walking around now that getting the XL Candy for Chansey is a lot less difficult. XL Umbreon in the Ultra League is a little bit dubious in my opinion. Hits a little bit too soft, and with Talonflame coming in, Talonflame can defeat the Umbreon, just straight Flame Charge, no Brave Bird needed. So I think Umbreon's days are a little bit awkward right now for the Ultra League, might not be the best option. The G-Fisk, on the other hand, though, does have that Rock Slide. The Talonflame still has a pretty good, consistent 1-1 matchup against it, but, you know, threatening Ground-type Pokemon, Rock-type damage, if you can get ahead in energy or ahead in shields against the Talonflame of Doom, I think this guy can pull up right. Once again, when it comes to like the Master League options, I haven't been following the Master League very closely, so, you know, I'd feel bad if I was telling you to do one thing or another when I'm not really super familiar with that metagame. That said, Metagross, definitely the best Steel-type attacker in the game for raids, so XL Candy in it and taking it to the next level, obviously a pretty good move. If you're sitting back going like, oh man, you know, I'd love to XL Candy out, you know, a Metagross, but all of my Meteor Mash Metagrosses have relatively bad IVs, and I really want to do a Hundo. And I've got like a Hundo Beldum, but I gotta, you know, evolve it to get the Meteor Mash or use a Elite TM. Well, you don't have to worry too much if you're paying attention and you hop on that Beldum Incense Day that they have coming on Sunday the 15th here. So during a set period of time, if you evolve a Metagross, you will get Meteor Mash on it, the exclusive Community Day attack, without needing to use an Elite TM, which is pretty nice, especially for somebody like me who doesn't have a Hundo Metagross with the Meteor Mash. My level 40 Metagross has pretty poor PvP IVs, so this is definitely an event that I'm looking forward to. And then yeah, with the Incense Day, they're like rotating Psychic and Steel-type Pokemon. Got a nice infographic up here from the Go Stadium, giving you some extra info on all that. But yeah, pretty good Incense Day to pay attention to, especially if you're like me and you don't have the Meteor Mash Metagross on a Hundo yet. But yeah, everything else pretty solid in their own right for various reasons, of course, but I don't know too much about the Master League right now. And then, of course, don't forget to excite your buddy for half distance. Right now, it appears that having your buddy excited doesn't really correlate with getting XL Candy more easily. But, of course, if they're excited, then you get XL Candy or candy in general in half the distance. So, increased rate of acquisition, not an increased percent chance of getting the candy. But obviously, you're getting the candy a lot quicker, so you'll get more candy that way. Also, one interesting Pokemon that I've been taking a look at recently in PvP, Ultra League style, is Bronzong. I don't know how much you have to walk it to get candy from it, but surprised it didn't show up on this graphic. Could be worth looking into. So that about wraps it up. We got some new ways of getting XL Candy, and we have, you know, increased ways of getting XL Candy. So XLing Pokemon, powering them up all the way, may be a little bit easier than before. One little addition to this game that would be pretty nice with all these great updates would also be Stardust, like ways of getting Stardust more easily. I think that's something that is being a little bit overlooked by Niantic right now, and as somebody who has hardly any Stardust and all of this candy and now all these ways to get extra candy, I would appreciate some ways of getting a little bit of extra Stardust. I don't know, that's just me. But yeah, who are you going to be walking for this event? Comment below, let me know who will be your level 50 champion, especially with the Ultra League coming up, where there's tons of powerful level 50 Pokemon to use. And if you are curious about other raid attackers that are good for XLing, I am looking into that information right now, so future video should have, like, you know, the level 40 legendary versus like the level 50 XL boy, which one's the better, that kind of info. When it comes to water types, looks like Kyogre's a little bit stronger than the basic Gyarados though. That's what I know right now. At any rate, hope you enjoyed this content. If you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to subscribe to the Swagman. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a shout out to my patron supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description. There has been an update to how much cat hair I have on me. Holy jeez.